All right. Hey, uh, looking for my starting spot. Okay, got it. Welcome to Tai Chi. I made this video for a couple of friends. Hi, Julia. Hi, Joe. Who are thinking about learning Tai Chi. We might have to do it remotely, so I'm kind of exploring how video works in terms of sharing ideas of Tai Chi and positions and forms and things like that. So hopefully it'll be beneficial to other people. And I'm going to start. I do tend to talk a lot, so we're going to try and avoid that. Uh, this is William C.C. Chen's, great Grandmaster William C.C. Chen's 60 Movements, Tai Chi short form. Master Chen derived his form from his teacher's form, 37 postures. That was Professor Cheng Man-ch'ings. They count differently. It's same, almost the same form. There's small additions and eliminating repetitions in Master Chen's form. Professor Cheng's form was derived from the 108 movement long form that he learned from Yang Chung Fu. The 108 movement long form was created by Yang Chung Fu's teacher. Yang Chung Fu's teacher was the grandson of Yang Luchan, who created the Yang style short form, and the Yang style short form was itself a simplification of the Chen style family martial exercise. It wasn't called Tai Chi, but it did involve the principles of yin and yang, which are fundamental to Tai Chi. Yin and yang, soft and hard, light and dark, male and female, active and passive. The Taoist Tai Chi concept is that the universe is composed of these contending, well, I wouldn't say contending, these dual elements, yin and yang, which work together sometimes, work against each other other times. You might say, well, where would soft and hard be in a fight? We'll look at ward-off left. We're going to look at ward-off left, especially because before we get you involved, which I do want to do, I have to let you know what the risks are. And this ward-off left is a good demonstration of the risks of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is slow and gentle, yes, but we do things like this, where the waist is going to be made parallel to the left foot, and all my weight is on the left foot. So there's a tremendous strain on my hip socket. The yin and the yang is that in this form, the application is, the stylized application is that I'm being attacked on this shoulder. So I take it away, maybe grab their arm. They stumble, and then I'm going to shift my weight and step into them. But think about what just happened there. I responded to an attack, not with my own attack, but with a retreat. But it's not really a retreat because my left knee drives forward into their space. And now I'm in a position to drive off my right foot and drive them further away. So yin and yang, soft and hard, were the general ideas of Tai Chi. When Yang Luchan came along, he was a very successful fighter, by the way. And because he was a successful fighter, they invited him to teach to the imperial court in Beijing and to the upper classes. So he had to tone things down a little bit because the Chen style was truly martial arts training for serious fighters. So to make it approachable to the general public, he said, well, let's not have the low stances. We'll have stand-up style. Let's eliminate the super fast parts. Just go slowly. But we'll preserve so much of the challenge of Tai Chi that is still beneficial. We still get the health benefits. Health benefits, lower heart rate, blood pressure, leg strength, balance, Actually, the list is pretty impressive. I won't bore you with it, but the research keeps finding new things. So have we talked about the health risk? Yeah. So balance. If we lose our balance, we'll fall down. If we fall down, we might break our fall with our hand and break our wrist or hurt our arm. So as I said, or may have said, check with the doctor if you have any existing condition or you're just not sure about whether anything it will be a problem doing the, you see I'm balancing on one leg, stepping out with one leg. So let's check that out. That was a little bit flowery. As Chen always said, show off. I don't think he meant that. So we've covered the risks. We've covered the history. Let's finish by talking about if you are thinking about learning Tai Chi from anyone, what you want to learn is you want to see them do the form, live or by video, and ask yourself if that's what you want to learn, because that's what they will teach. 2, find out that lineage. They might move really beautifully, but not actually be teaching a traditional Tai Chi form. And the Tai Chi form has been worked out over centuries to be effective and detailed. And the genius is in the details. You'd be surprised. And you'll see the details that we go through as we work on one simple movement, the cloud hands movement. And then the third thing, after you have seen their form, learned their lineage, the third thing is to take some lessons and see if the two of you are compatible. And if it just doesn't work out, they're no good guys, they're no bad guys. Find another teacher. Because it's really important. The relationship with the teacher is really fundamental when it comes to any of the martial arts. Tremendous trust is required by the student of the teacher that this is what they want to learn, and they will learn it, and they will enjoy the process. It's a deep, intense process, so you're going to go through a lot. So it's good to have a strong relationship with the teacher. Okay, so now I think it's time to get you involved, and if you feel comfortable doing so. Our exercise, cloud hands, is easier than most. Towards the end, we're going to get into the empty step, and that might be where you want to punt if you decide you should. And by the way, that makes a great point. You decide. You know your body. You know how it feels while we're working through things. You decide if you want to continue. And at any time you're not comfortable, just take it easy, or maybe make it easier yourself. Figure out some way to make the motions easier, but don't push it. Okay, so let's start with, we won't even be moving. We're just going to work on our posture. This is a fundamental concept in any of I think any of the Tai Chi styles, is an idea of the straight back. How do we get the straight back? If you're standing up, feet shoulder width, have the feet pointed straight ahead, not splayed. Oh, it really doesn't matter. Well, yeah, straight ahead, not splayed, and now sit on an imaginary windowsill. That's going to put a big strain on your legs because we're taking the back out of it, and we are bending the knees. So instead of our weight being supported by our bones stacked on top of each other, we now have our leg muscles, fortunately good-sized muscles, supporting much more of the weight than would happen in a case where we are using our skeleton to support our weight. This is physics. So we're seated on a windowsill. What that does is take our tendency to sort of have a little tuck in our lumbar area, which isn't good because straight lines are stronger than kinked lines. So we're going to sit on the windowsill, knees go out over the toes, and that'll straighten the vertebrae in the lumbar. The next thing we do is hiss like a cat, arch the back a little bit. That's straightening out the middle section of our back. And then finally, let's express incredulity. What? Well, so what I'm doing is raising the back of my skull, tucking the chin, but gently. And what that does is bring the neck vertebrae and the back of the skull in line with the rest of the vertebrae, straight up to the heavens. So the back can actually now, and relax into that. So don't hold it, just find that position and relax into it and stay there. Now all the weight is on the legs. They're probably getting tired, so you can straighten up, and that might challenge some of the straightening of the back, but straighten the legs, and if you need to. But as much as you can, I call it dial a workout, as much as you can, bring your weight back down so that your knees are bent, your legs are nice and springy, legs are getting tired, legs are getting a workout. With any luck, you'll have sore legs tomorrow. Good sign that you've gotten a workout for your muscles. And this is the corrected posture. By the way, neat little trick is sink a little lower when your legs start to burn, and that actually just brings in new muscle fibers. But I remember doing that in my first class in Tai Chi at the teacher's recommendation. The last thing I wanted to do was sink lower. So anyway, that might not work for you. So anyway, but that's our posture, standard posture. And what we're going to do is, and I struggle with this all the time, it's really typical to lose that posture once we start moving. Old habits die hard. But we want to move from the waist down. Now, Master Chen breaks a little at the waist to make it more natural. Step out, and then at the end, when we're warding off right, straighten up. Break at the waist, straighten up. Break at the waist, straighten up. And in reality, I'm kind of emphasizing it, exaggerating it. We actually want that break to be internal, infinitesimal, almost imperceptible. Okay, so that's the posture. Sit on the windowsill, basically. I should have talked about something else. Let's go back to sitting on the windowsill. Let's talk about the breath. Okay, we're sitting on the windowsill, checking our back, checking our upper back, expressing shock and amazement, tucking the chin down, back of the head up. Now relaxing it all, and the breath. Use the diaphragm, not the chest. The belly, if you will. Use the belly to draw a thin, cool stream of air in through the nose, completely filling before releasing. Now, having said that, aside from using the diaphragm, don't regulate the breath. Let the breath go in, go out. When your autonomous system wants to change that. There are two autonomous processes that can also be conscious process, and that is, one is the breath, because most of the time we don't think about our breath, and the other one is blinking. So blinking is something that happens naturally, but we can blink when we want to. All right. Sorry for the digression. What we're going to do is just do that abdominal, draw that air in, and let it out, Get in that habit and then just go about doing the form without even thinking about it. Now, one thing that happens is I do like to inhale here. So if I haven't finished exhaling, I'll quick get in and exhale so I can do my inhale on the finish of movement. But I don't coordinate them. I don't try to synchronize them. I just wait till I'm getting ready, and if I can't inhale, I'll quick exhale and finish with an inhale. Sorry, I jumped ahead into the form. We were just doing seated, sitting on the windowsill. Okay, so that is the posture that you want to hold no matter what else we're doing. The next thing is we're going to go through a warm-up. Now with the warm-up, feet can be splayed a little bit. We're going to turn side to side and let the arms flop. Don't control the arms. What you want to control is the waist. We're going to drive from the inside edge of the foot up through the inside of the knee, using the inside thigh muscle on each side to drive the hip through and pull the hip back. And pulling one back, driving the other forward. Remember your posture. And hopefully notice that you're just drawing air in and letting it out. You want to have some fun. Try to see if you can make the knees, feet, and waist all disappear. Just have one change of shape from the left foot up through the shoulders. Imagine a Gumby doll twisting, and all parts of the Gumby doll twist together, untwist together. That's a deep principle, by the way, in Tai Chi. Everything moves together. We have the feet, the knees, the hips, the waist, and we merge them into one. Did I mention the waist? The waist is key in Tai Chi. We drive from the foot, through the legs, through the waist, out to the fingers. And letting our body naturally handle what's in between. All right. I think I touched on all the points there. So now we're ready for our first movement, cloud hands. Stand again normally, feet shoulder width, feet pointed straight ahead. And this is a modification of the cloud hands from Master Chen's form. So we can do multiple cloud hands. In the Master Chen's form, we step up. I just learned palm faces palm, palms face the body, palms face palm, step up, and we go right into single whip. So, well, we want to spend some time on cloud hands, so we're going to start with our feet together, point straight ahead. Remember the posture. Remember the breath. And now shift the weight to the right. And our palms are now facing the body. We're going to shift our weight back with the rising hand passing inside the descending hand. We're going to turn to the north, turn to the northwest. Repeat. Shift the weight back. Again, the rising hand passes to the inside. So now it's the right hand that passes to the inside. Turn to the north, turn to the northeast. 1. Shift our weight back. 2. Turn to the north. 3. turn to the northwest. 1, shift the weight back. 2, turn to the north. 3, turn to the northeast. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are the actual component parts that we want to learn. Now, our next step is to do that. That's the mechanics of cloud hands. And the real cloud hands involve stepping. But we'll do this, we'll do that later. So in this modified cloud hands, we now have the mechanics. 1, 2, 3. Turn, turn, turn. So we're going to start bringing in now the Tai Chi principles. So the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to break it up. We're going to move continuously. Even at the end, as we're changing direction, we maintain continuity from movement to movement to movement. 2, we're going to slow it down. This is going to put more work on the legs, right? We slow it down so we can be aware of what we're doing, correct any mistakes, notice any imperfections. We slow it down to keep ourselves calm and peaceful, the meditative quality. And I talked earlier about how the slow speed makes certain movements a lot harder. Again, the other reason for doing it slowly. So what do we have? We have a continuous motion, slow motion, and let me emphasize that we never speed up, we never slow down. The most popular metaphor here is the mighty river. Billions of gallons. That's not going to speed up, that's not going to slow down. Something else that doesn't change, our height above the ground. Now, I talked about breaking at the waist and then straightening up. That's a small change in height, but really it's got nothing to do with the hips bobbing up and down. The martial application is that all these things, all these movements are designed to be executed potentially. We're not really going to. They're designed to be executed at lightning speed. So for martial training, any bobbing up and down just would not make any sense when scaled up to full speed. Because if I bounce up, I won't come down until gravity brings me down. I can drive myself from side to side with my leg muscles, but if I drive myself up, I'm waiting for gravity to bring me down. So, steady speed, steady slow speed, steady height, continuous motion between the movements, and something I think I mentioned before, everything starts together and ends together. So I'm sagging, gathering, exploding. Sagging, gathering, exploding. The right hand, the left hand, the weight shift, and the waist turn. All done as one motion. I like to think of a transformer toy changing from a car or a plane into a robot, to a human form. And it's all sorts of different moving parts, but they all start together and they assume the new shape together, synchronized. And I mentioned the break at the waist. We want to fall asleep and wake up. So we break at the waist, take our mind off, let our energy out, and then energize. Take your mind off, take your mind off, energize. Take your mind off, relax some more, energize. Now, if I'm exaggerating the break, again, that's just for demonstration purposes. We want this to be internal. We do have one thing that's external. Let's watch the hands. The rising hand fills, and then it softens. The rising hand fills out, and then softens. Rising hand fills, and it softens. And the difference is not great. It's just like, that's a full hand, that's a soft hand, that's an empty hand. Full, empty. Take your mind off. Oh yeah, that's the one. So I watch myself doing the form now on video, and I notice that my hands are almost always soft. And my excuse is that I'm energizing internally. I have to say that now that I notice that from the videos, when I consciously fill out the hand, it definitely accentuates that feeling of the explosion. And if it seems ironic to use the word explosion for something being done so slowly, this is where the imagination is important. All right, so what do we have? We have slow, steady speed, steady height, break at the waist, energize, hands soften, hands full. And I haven't thought about my breath since we started. All right, so that is cloud hands with the key principles of Tai Chi: steady speed, steady height, uninterrupted movement, and a little bit of yin yang. Fall asleep, wake up. Now, for the next step, this is where we're going to get more interesting and more challenging. That's the empty step. And the empty step is something I got more from my one set of lessons that I got from New York School of Tai Chi Chuan, which got me off to a great start on Tai Chi. And one of the things they did emphasize was, I remember distinctly this one, and this foot being empty. You're able to pick that foot up. And the empty step also in here. So let's look at how we can do that in cloud hands. And it's not hard. We're going to stand with our feet closer together. Hands face the body. Shift the weight to the right foot. Step out to create that width. Now shift your weight back. Turn, 2, 3. Now all our weight is on the left foot. Bring the right foot in. And now let's step back out. Shift the weight back to the right. Palms face. And bring in the left foot. Send the left foot back out. Shift. Turn. Turn. Bring in. Send out. Shift the weight back. Turn. Turn. Step in. Step out. Now here, stepping in, we can lightly touch the toe to help with the balance, so we don't have to strain our balance and risk an injury on our knee or something. So you use the toe if that's more comfortable. And when we step out, you can just, it's fun to, and it's really great experience to see if you can step out and step back, step out, don't put it down, step back, Step out. Okay, now I'm going to put it down. Okay. So that is the Tai Chi empty step. And that brings us to the end of the elements of Tai Chi that I wanted to share, so you realize what you'll be getting into if you try Tai Chi. One is you're going to learn a very definite, precise form with a long history of cultivation over the years, designed very carefully to draw out balance and agility and nimbleness. And you're going to work your leg strength, and you're going to work your balance again, and coordination, the idea of moving things together, coordinating all that. And I think we could basically stop here and carefully, as I say, look for a teacher, see them do the form, see if they're compatible, find out their lineage, and if you can find all that, I think you have a very rewarding experience and benefit greatly from just something so simple. But the studies have shown that a small amount of exercise is all we need sometimes. Okay, thank you very much. My fake fist. All right.